Let's talk about Marcus, who made a video about me because I made a video about him. I was kind of waiting for this to happen. I felt like a YouTube celebrity for a hot second. I'm joking, you know. Um, but I had a person, a person make a video about me, and I clicked on a thing, and I see my face on someone's thumbnail, and like it's a scary thing. And he has a much larger community than me, much larger. And so his video got, I don't even know, let me see what, uh, almost 50,000 views. So it's great. It's great that someone talked about me in a really positive way in front of so many people. Obviously, I'm joking, and it was mean, and but let's watch it together. We're not gonna watch the whole thing. We're gonna watch a little bit of it. Trigger warning. It's, lots of not kind things that he's gonna say. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll talk about that other scar comment after this video. Guys. All right. I think I sped this up already. No, I didn't. Because I don't want to spend any more time talking about this guy than I have to. Okay.
My content.
Look at that. Sorry. Delusional haters. I'm just so mad. It makes me so annoyed. I'm so annoyed, and I hate that I'm annoyed, but it's part of the feeling. I have this issue with people doing this thing where it's non-binary ideology a chance. And so, like, I'm a person, like, I'm not an ideology. I'm an entire human being, right? Like, non-binary is a part of that. See, I agree. I'm going to say, like, I stand by that comment 100%. Let's see if he has a
This is where you have to remember the first thing that she said.
And he misgendered me the whole time, which fucking sucks. It makes me so fucking mad that a person can make a video talking about his dysphoria. And I talked about his dysphoria, and I was like, yeah, his experience of dysphoria is like this. And you know what? I actually have a really similar experience of dysphoria. And he misgenders me. Like, that feels fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just is unkind. I did not misgender him. I supported him. You know what I'm saying? I won't say that I wasn't unkind at all, because I probably was. And I'm not necessarily mad about that, because he was more unkind to me than I was to him. But yeah, the misgendering was not kind, and it sucks that he did that in front of so many people. Yeah,
that I'm just another type of Blair White and Ariel or something.
I said that earlier in the video. He has that type of energy.
Like, I'm not my person, individual. Huh? How cool.
I didn't say that you were the same. I said you had the same energy.
But it's so typical that these types of people only get ended when it directly affects them.
No. Did you see the video? I wasn't even standing up for myself. I was standing up for other people. Well, technically it was non-binary people, so it was myself. And I get offended about other things as well. But
so they can be as offensive as they want, as offended. Everything's fine.
Was that him correctly gendering me, or was that him just talking about people generally? Because I don't think that must have been an accident.
No one is saying that you're not a human being. No one is saying that you're an individual. See, if you believe in non-binary, if you have more than two genders, that's an opinion. An opinion. If you believe that...
I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed. Because it's not like they're literally, I know, like, I understand that there is science that does support this. Oh, for example, like, I learned more about the science that kind of like does help support like non-binary people from like Godless Snowshoe. So even though we have, I don't know if I'm landing in the same place as them, some of the resources that they provided were useful to me.
The grass is full and not green. Opinion, not a fact. Whatever you want, and whatever you want.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to talk about him later.
But here's the thing. You believe instead of acknowledging reality, okay?
And also, being non-binary is not the same as believing that the grass is green. It's so offensive. This is actually, I mean, he's right. You know, he's being offensive right now because he's saying that, like, it's only because of a feeling that I'm like this. No, I'm dysphoric. Therefore, I'm making a decision to, like, go through a really uncomfortable process of changing my body in order to, like, alleviate gender dysphoria. Thank you for completely ignoring that. and misrepresenting me.
There's the difference. If you as a biological woman, I'm talking about this woman, if you as a biological woman cannot be a woman, your opinions on gender stereotypes, that's on you.
And that's offensive to me because I am like, I'm not that type of like, I'm
cannot be a woman because of on gender.
Oh yeah, he's like one of those people that non-binary. It seems that there are people who believe that non-binary is only this like political subversive thing. Like I don't want to be assigned to what a female is, therefore I want to be non-binary. That's not what's happening here. Yeah. This is awful. Whew. Yeah. JD would have JD would have so many dollars that they'd be able to afford all their surgeries that they need. Goodness gracious. Yeah. I don't know. I do think that transphobia can help you feel more comfortable about yourself. And that's kind of twisted. But like I said, this is the logical conclusion of gender critical ideology is like teasing other trans people. And that's pretty much it. So that sucks. Let me see.
Gender stereotypes, that's on you. Your opinion, middle of instead of just a little bit, it's fact. It's the fact that there isn't any room for women to be different, that there isn't room for men to be different, whatever that means. Non-binary is a part of woke ideology because it's based in rejecting reality. It's based in rejecting science and biology.
Yeah, not at all. Like, yeah, gender dysphoria is, I mean, technically probably is a biological phenomenon. Maybe it's caused by like some, I don't know, chemical stuff. Who knows what gender dysphoria is exactly. But yeah, so it's not, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, guys. This, like, he's equating like people's lived experiences of gender dysphoria as an ideology. He's claiming that like I just want to be not, quote unquote, not like other girls, when like like gender dysphoria is a part of like my experience. It's so frustrating. Yeah, and exactly, punching down doesn't save you, and that's what the TERFs and transphobic binary folks fail to admit to themselves. It doesn't help anybody. And the point of this video is I'm going to show you, this is what I'm doing. I'm going progressively more and more intense in the rhetoric, because I'm going to show you where this all leads, guys. It's not pretty. So pretty much trigger warning for violent transphobia for the rest of this video, pretty much. Yeah, you can tell that he didn't watch my video. What I'm guessing is that he had like an editor or something find me on, like, he probably searched for his name on the internet, found that I made a video about him, found those 2 clips, and then made it and didn't watch my video.
Societal norms, their own norms, integrate into society.
When I hear like, yes, we do want new norms to be integrated into society, and that should not be a bad thing. Do you know what other laws were imposed onto society? Things like forcing businesses. Oh, poor businesses that have to make their buildings accessible to people in wheelchairs. Oh no, you're forcing your opinion on us. Oh no, we have to desegregate our schools and allow Black people to come into our schools. You're forcing your opinion onto us. I'm so oppressed. I don't buy it. Before, I used to buy it. I used to be like, oh, maybe we are pushing ourselves on society. No, I'm done with that. I'm done with that now, because it's okay for us to take up space. It's okay for you to take up space. Take up space. Be a person. Say I deserve a right to be here. And if people don't want to do that, then that's fine, right? People do have a right to completely deny respect to us. And that's upsetting, right? It's upsetting and annoying, but that doesn't mean that we get to stop. We should stop like standing up for people, even the trans people who we don't necessarily agree with. Even if we feel like using xenogenders or neopronouns harms other trans people, like, oh, that's distracting people from the real problem. That's not the issue here. The issue here is we have violent transphobia raging in our community that's being very well accepted by people, so much that trans people are like, man, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed of other trans. I don't want to be associated with. I don't want to be made fun of. I don't want to end up on libs of TikTok. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion. That's my perspective. I could be wrong. Whatever. The gay ideology and the homosexual ideology, like it seems like a dog whistle for conservative or for conservative ideology, non-binary ideology, trans ideology. There are trans people. There are people. about our experiences. It's weird because it's like, I don't know, like other things don't get categorized like that.
Okay, if you still don't understand why people call it an ideology, let me make something very clear. You're a woman on testosterone. You're a masculine woman, but you're not non-binary. The first thing I mentioned.
Can I just tell you that, like, I posted that picture on Instagram on trans visibility, and I haven't posted like any type of like trans picture because it just really made me really pretty dysphoric to like have people like see that, I guess. And then I was like feeling kind of okay, and I chose a little bit of a tip. It is kind of funny that there's a smaller box of me anyway, but because I was like, okay, let me try to make this dramatic. So like I chose a bit a picture with like where I was showing lots of titty so that it would look really different. And I think that also plays into my dysphoria. I feel like my face hasn't changed enough on testosterone, and like I still look like a girl. Like this triggered a lot of dysphoria for me. But I'm watching it again because I don't know. I have therapy on Tuesday, so I'm fine. No, guys, this sucks. It really does stink. Yeah, because whatever he's gonna say, it's gonna be wrong generally. But I'm almost
a fact. The second thing I mentioned is something you believe you are. Two different things. In my case, I'm a gender dysphoric person. I'm a biological woman, and I testosterone. I got some surgery, so I look like a man in society. Those are.
Do you literally hear what he said? Literally saying, like, except for the and part of living like a man in society. Like, I'm a gender dysphoric. Like, look,
believe you are. I'm testosterone. It's a little bit different in my case. Person.
Same.
I'm a biological woman.
Same.
And I'm on testosterone.
Same.
I got some surgery, so I look.
Same.
Like a man in society.
Kind of same, like a little bit. Like my end goal is kind of like androgynous, like masculine looking type of person. That doesn't necessarily reflect my gender exactly, but like that's how I want to. My gender expression is like that. So you know what I'm. So I'm offended. You know what I'm saying? I'm offended, not necessarily because like the misgendering doesn't really bother. Like it bothers me because it's misgendering and it brings up feelings in my body. But what I'm angry about is misrepresenting me as an individual and saying things like I make sense because I have dysphoria when I also have gender dysphoria as well. You don't get to just hoard all the dysphoria points.
Those are facts, and what I claim to be is what I just said. So there's no difference. I believe there are many ways to be a man or a woman.
She saw this Reddit post was really funny. So POV, I run the YouTube channel, The Offensive Tranny, and basically saying like
feminine trans men, woman, female, she. I'm the only valid trans in the world. Oh, I'm glad that you understand. Just kidding. This is someone who thinks it's hypocritical when I talk about how there's a million ways to be a man, but I cannot accept that a trans man is wearing makeup, shows off his big boobs with long hair.
You can't.
You claim to be a man. It doesn't make sense. The majority of all people will never, ever understand. The difference between a regular man and a trans man is gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria is a mental disorder that takes away a person's freedom to express themselves however they want. It's kind of the whole point of a person transitioning to the opposite sex. Of course, I'm not the only transsexual person in the world. However, I'm very confident not everyone share my experience. Not a lot of people are trans. So what's the problem? I think it's a very good thing, actually. It's quite a difficult life.
Yeah, it's quite a difficult life. Yes, very much the whole just the whole mental disorder situation. Like I think that I guess the language that I use that I feel like is better is like it's a situation, like a condition type of a thing, maybe. Because it does, I don't know if like there are things that are not conditions that need to be treated. I don't know how to like make sense of all of this stuff. I'm still figuring out how I want, yeah. But yeah, that made me annoyed. There's so many things I could say to him, but it's just all of it is stupid and ridiculous. It's mostly because like it's people like him and people like Blair White. I think that those are two, I would say, like trans man and a trans woman who both hold similar ideas. I'm not saying that you're the same person. So if you need me to specify, you're not the same person for sure. Similar ideas. And what you're saying is I have to look like this XYZ so that I'm accepted in society. And if you look different than that, you're not a trans person. You don't get to be valid. You don't get to say you're X, Y, or Z. That just doesn't work. Like then, okay, because when you say things like this, you know what you're actually doing? Like you're making it for people. These people will say things like, "Oh, I'm worried about the kids. I'm worried about the, transing the kids." I would say that sometimes people like this are more more risk of transing the kids because if you say things like, oh, being a man means you wear this and you don't wear makeup or you don't wear dresses, then the little boy who wants to wear makeup and dresses is immediately trans. Then you know what I mean? Then it doesn't quite work. So if and I think that what his perspective is that gender dysphoria makes it impossible for him to do anything feminine, and that's his expression of gender dysphoria, and that is so valid for you. My gender dysphoria is different, right? I have gender dysphoria on both. It seems like I'm on both extremes, right? Either if I'm too masculine, I feel gender dysphoria. If I feel too feminine, I get gender dysphoria. So it's like this is where there's the most comfort. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just, you know what I'm saying, guys? Interesting. It must suck only living for society. Wow. Ooh, I like that point because, yeah, my transition isn't about me fitting into society. My transition is about like me like cultivating a space, like literally this body, which is a space that I feel comfortable in. And that's pretty much it. Oh, cool. Yeah. It's a very very non-binary experience, I guess. Yeah. But because there are non-binary people who like are super comfortable on like the full male appearing spectrum of things, and I did kind of try to lean there a little bit and grow my facial hair, and mostly what that meant is like growing my facial hair a little bit out longer, but that started to get kind of weird and made me a little bit uncomfortable. But now it's like at this weird, because whenever I shave completely, I feel like kind of uncomfortable for the first little bit, so it's growing back, so it's a little bit better. And thank you also, because someone complimented my jawline, and like that makes me feel so good because, like I also have been like working on my jawline specifically. If you don't know about mewing, it's this kind of technique where you like push your tongue on the roof of your mouth. It's like supposed to be really good for like breathing and stuff like that, but it also can like help your face and your jawline become more, what's that called? Angled and defined and stuff like that. So I appreciate that comment because I've been working on it. Because that for me, sorry, there's the dogs if you can hear them. Having my jawline feel like sharp is gender affirming for me. So like I am working hard, like every day I'm mewing, you know what I'm saying? Like even things like chewing gum, like a lot of gum can help build up sorry about the door, can help build up the jaw muscles and stuff like that and help kind of create a more angular face. That feels affirming to me. So I'm working in that direction. You know what I'm saying? Like gender dysphoria impacts my day-to-day life, and I'm working pretty much, not necessarily, it doesn't feel like I'm constantly working at fighting gender dysphoria, but it's like, it's a thing that I think about. When I work out, like I might spend a little bit more time on my chest than other parts of my body because I have a lot of discomfort around my chest. And I would say more of like, that's more of a body dysmorphia type of situation, not necessarily gender dysphoria. It feels comfortable being flat, but I feel like I like more muscle. I feel kind of not muscular, and that makes me feel like I'm too small, and that doesn't make me feel good. So I work on that, and that is good for me. I think that people should have the right to make their bodies look the way that they feel most comfortable in a healthy range, I would say. Because I think like there are dangers for weight if it gets out of control, and I think both directions, both of them can be unhealthy. I know this because I worked with eating disorders for several years, and I worked people on both ends of the spectrum. So yeah. Okay, but basically I wanted to say it's just generally super uncomfortable to do this. I think we're both trans. The other thing that I spent a lot of time today also just like watching people talk about like Calvin Guerra, and I know that he's another experience of a trans person who is not necessarily the kindest to other trans people, but not all trans people are like are like Marcus, and that's good. But it seems like maybe more and more of them are leaning oh crap. Are leaning more and more towards that line. And I think like what you said, Dragon said, like you're just kind of working to assimilate more than standing on your own. Like I'm not necessarily like, yes, I'm a part of this society. I'm a part of the human race, and that's, you know, and I don't necessarily have to like be accepted by society to like live a functional life, I guess. Yeah, maybe it would definitely make other people like me. But then we run the risk of kind of having a situation where we're dealing with, oh, well, I like trans people like you. I like trans people like you and like Blair White. But the other trans people, no, they're a little bit they're too much for me. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work. You know, it doesn't stand up to scrutiny. Okay. So what next? We're going to talk about the extremes. You know, I'll say that Marcus is, you know, still would stand for another say that trans people, you know, he probably wouldn't say trans men are men. He would say trans men are women with a male experience. Like that would be his like cheer. That means that's like such an obnoxious thing. Model minority recycled BS. Exactly. Ooh, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys make these conversations so much deeper. And then you also mentioned the idea of, you're like, I'm not seeing any Black anti-transphobic folks like this. I'm not going to say that the transphobic people don't exist. I absolutely believe that they do exist. I watched a video about this Black pastor talk about how he hates homophobia and how it's like literally like he believes it's like a whole agenda that we like infiltrated the mental health community to like force them to change gay from being like a mental health issue. It's crazy. People literally believe the craziest things. But definitely maybe there might be some white supremacy stuff going on here. I think JJ was saying maybe these takes are based in white supremacy, always boxing in folks with strict labels, etc. There's no need to watch this shit, by the way. People think the earth is flat too. Yeah. Yeah, and I think I'm or maybe I just like to feel angry. I don't know. I don't really think that's it. I like to know things, and I like to know what people believe, and I like to figure out why they believe what they believe. Sometimes I understand, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I make assumptions that are wrong, and sometimes I feel like I'm on the money. But we're gonna we're gonna just watch a very short clip of this person, Issac, uncooked. And it's, you know, trigger warning for the video. It's just, you know, usual transphobic stuff. Here it goes. And then I might even speed this up because it's only a couple seconds I'm going to show.
Hey everyone, I'm here on the Offensive Tea channel. You may know this channel. It's actually more popular than mine because people like delusion, I guess. She is...
So you can tell, like, so even though this person, Marcus, thinks, like, I'm the logical one, I'm going to go let my dog in. Okay, buddy, come on. Come on. Okay. All right. So he thinks, like, you know, I'm the kind of trans person that people like. I'm the kind of trans person that is like acceptable. But that's not the truth. See, you can see that here. Raja's joining for a little bit until he gets annoyed.
I think she's named herself Marcus. Here she is with Buck Angel. So 2 women. It says here, get ready for tomorrow's video because this iconic man is in it. Not sure about the iconic part. Not sure about the man part. All I see are 2 women. Maybe it's the second picture here. No, it's the same picture, basically. Just 2 women. It's weird.
So pretty much that for the whole time. And then him just like going into the comments and being like, this is actually a woman and not a man. So like, this is where it ends. This is where it goes. Okay. The person who made this channel is a detransitioner. And I guess that this would be one of those examples of like what happens when people like are super negative and things like that. 1 second. Wait, I don't know why this thing isn't working. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, if this is toxic to you and your psyche, we all know these phones suck and are petty. Yeah, I don't like these people. I know phobes. Yeah, like I'm in a much better place, like to talk about these issues. I've wanted to talk about this stuff for quite a long time, but like was not like in the mental headspace to do it. And I think a lot of my dysphoria probably just like kept me from feeling confident enough from sharing my videos and my perspective online. I got pretty nervous about it. But I feel better about myself now. I feel more confident generally and more secure in myself. If a phobe is going to say something about me, I feel much more comfortable kind of talking, like just knowing that they're being completely ridiculous and then I don't really have to agree with them at all. The last thing that I wanted to do is talk about Buck Angel. So Buck Angel is a pretty famous trans man. And he is, you know, kind of like another one who I think is, who let's say like Blair White would respect Buck Angel as a trans man. You know, he is very open about his like his past as a woman, you know, and as him as a female and things like that. I think his Instagram bio is like a man with a female past or something like that, which is fine. Like, and it is true. My like female identity or my female body, like I guess because that's, you know, whatever, like or being raised female or whatever has impacted my life in a certain way. And so that is, yeah, I think an important experience to acknowledge. But, you know, also I think he's just being like, just doing the whole like conservative trans thing. I don't even know if conservative is the right word, because I would not think that Buck is conservative by any means. He's a porn star, so he's not a conservative person. He's just like more of a trans medicalist. There you go. Oh, I don't see BIPOC transphobic trans folks. Okay, for sure. I don't think I do either. Like I haven't found a channel where that happens. So, and maybe that's it. Maybe it's, there are small channels. Maybe it's the algorithm only showing me the white people. But there are Black trans people who are being mean to other trans people. I don't know. Libertarian conservative. Okay. Okay. I think I understand that. But yeah, so with Buck Angel, he's a pretty prominent trans man. Even though I don't agree with a lot of his ideas, I feel like a sort of like maybe kinship with Buck as like someone who like has been kind of the forefront of trans men and trans rights for a long time. I would probably say, like, I don't really know all the details, but I would probably say that like he probably helped assist the trans community quite a bit, and he does try to help trans men with like creating like healthy sex toys and stuff like that, talking about how to take care of yourself as a trans man. And I think that's really important. I think talking about the medical part of being a trans person, the stuff that's dysphoria inducing and things like that is really important. If we don't talk about these things, then we can be I don't know exactly where I was going with that sentence. I lost it, but whatever. Okay. So we're going to watch this last thing. There's 3 different clips that I just wanted to play from this one video. None of this is Issac actually talking. It's just Issac showing a video where he's apparently trying, it seems like he's just playing the video, trying to frame Buck as like a creep or a pervert or something like that. But when I was watching it, I was like, this is actually interesting to hear some of Buck's perspective that I hadn't really heard of before. Maybe his perspective has changed. A lot of them were really, really old videos. But I don't know. I don't know. Just you'll see what I mean when we watch it. Okay. Oh crap.
That's not fair to do that. So it went out to him that, you know, I would love to have a conversation with him, and I think it would be very powerful. So, oh hey Isaac, thanks for showing up. So here's Isaac. That's great. Yeah, you're allowed. Okay, it's cool though, dude. It's cool. He said, I'm being honest, you're one, and I'm making a video. Like, you're influencing many young people. Right on, my friend.
Like, did you see like his face? Like, he's like, bummer. Like, I just didn't, he's like, darn it. Like, this person isn't gendering me correctly. Like, that frustration in his face.
I think I'll make a video about you. And then now we can cause all this drama. In fact, I won't make a video about you because it's not worth my time. But you're more than welcome to make as many videos as you want about me. Make sure you tag me and make sure you spell my name right so that more people can find me. Because that's all I really care about, my friend. You're just going to help me raise my channel. So it's cool with me. But that being said, I see what you're doing. You're not even being a respectful person. You're kind of being gross. But I am a biological female. I'm not a woman. I'm an actual biological female who decided to transition. It didn't work out for you, Isaac. And that's a bummer. But I can see.
So that's the other thing. It's like a lot of these people, when transition doesn't work for them, they kind of are like, it's really dangerous for everybody. And they just show like all of the risks of these things and like none of the benefits. And I think either perspective is harmful. Only showing the benefits of transition or only showing the negatives. A nuanced approach is best. And there's only a couple more seconds that I wanted to watch of this.
And that's what this whole thing was about. And you just actually 100% proved my point, which is why I think that's so beautiful. But I myself will send you a ton of love, my friend. I hope that you get over your hurt one day, and I hope that you see what you're doing can only cause more pain and more hurt for many people. And I wish to God you would listen to what I'm saying, because you actually listen to me instead of doing that kind of stuff. Because right there, Isaac.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what he was gonna say. Like, and I feel like he might say that they might like have some points where they agree, and they probably do. Like, so yeah. So when you just say like a woman is an adult human female, then like it gives people the right to just like kind of step all over our beliefs and things like that, and that is unhelpful, I think. So that's dangerous. But the reason why I'm showing this is because like this is what happens. Like, you saw how Marcus was disrespected, deeply disrespected by this other gender critical person. So he thinks that he's like trying to pander to these people who are actually going to be accepting. And yeah, I'm sure that there are people in his community who are very accepting, and I'm actually glad for that. It's good to have people who become less transphobic than they were originally. It's not perfect, but maybe it's better, whatever. But yeah, it also happens to Buck too. Like, he's also probably pretty, restrictive or transmedical in his perspective, but he is upset that someone is not speaking about him truthfully and calling him a woman when that is not accurate. It's just frustrating. And okay, the other thing that I wanted to show is a video of Buck just like standing for for trans rights, like, and for trans kids, which I was surprised to see, because I don't think he would say this kind of stuff now, but I don't know. It was nice to see it. So let's see what he has to say.
But it seems like people want to hear more about what I got going on. So I've been really working on my message of empowerment, which is really, really, really important to me, and important for me to get that out to you guys. And that I've noticed really that many people have been really listening to that. And, I have kids, like 14-year-old kids writing me and telling me like, they're from town in Kentucky. Nobody understands them. And a picture, I don't know how a 14-year-old is in my picture, but I don't ask them that. I'm okay with who I am now. Since a message to this little kid, 14, can feel this way. These people, wanting to beat him up at school because he dresses like a boy and he's a girl and he feels like a boy. And nobody understands that, and every day his parents are.
It's so crazy to see Buck being like, yeah, like these young kids who know that they're trans, like, and are feeling dysphoric and like are getting bullied, and he's like standing up for them and saying like, yeah, this is a problem. And it's good for young trans kids to see trans adults being alive. But it's almost as if, because these people start platforming detransitioners and like, they just like seem to be picking up this rhetoric that doesn't seem very helpful. And they seem to be kind of like being more anti-trans and is useful. I don't know, just maybe the message is, I don't know if that means that his message is shifting. I just think that it's like less helpful nowadays. But yeah, I like this version of Buck, you know, that him like standing up for yeah, these young trans kids, you know, who are messaging him and being like, you know, like you're an inspiration to me and like that, because that's a great feeling.
Like, if you would stop dressing like that, maybe you will get a boyfriend. You don't get a boyfriend, and you know, just continually harass this kid. And he says that he looks at my picture and he says to himself, "What would Buck Angel do?" I just feel to myself, wow. I mean, that has made my work that much more powerful for me. And it, you know, it's like, maybe I don't know if I saved this kid's life. Maybe I did. Nobody can tell us we're not men or we're not women. We are. And fuck you if you don't fucking like it. It's just the fucking way it is.
Like, you see, this is like he said, we are men, right? And trans women are women, right? This is him like proclaiming exactly the message that the world needs to hear. And it's unfortunate that he seems to like maybe not be that open about saying the same things nowadays, maybe a little bit more conservative in the way that he's speaking. But yeah, it's frustrating to see. It's like, it's inspiring and frustrating at the same time. I just like, it's weird. It's a weird, trippy thing to see. It kind of goes to show you how powerful the media has been in really influencing the way that people are viewing themselves and viewing other trans people. All right, so this is the last clip of his that I wanted to watch.
I'm a real believer of learning a community will stronger community, more powerful community. Kids, I love you, kids. Talk to you soon. Kids, don't forget to.
So I think that so in this video, I think that he's trying to like make Buck seem like creepy for mentioning like sex and stuff like that. But I think that it kind of goes along with like the whole, like he's the trans dad, transpop being like to the kids, to the trans kids and stuff like that. Or even the young trans people. Maybe that's like what he was going for. But I could, yeah, people will be like, oh no, now you're being a, since you said kids and you're talking about sex, now you're being a creep.
Clean your foreskin. And don't forget, you can ask me anything. Give me some questions, give me some topics, give me some things that you might want to discuss. Okay, kids? So that's it for today. Let's move on. I hope you love this. Please like it. Please follow me. Please spread the word.
And then he goes, and then the rest of the video is him just being ridiculous and making fun of Buck. So we're going to stop there. Because I don't really, I don't, like, I did a little bit of platforming of him just being hateful, but I don't want to do too much of that today. Do I have problems with Buck Angel? Absolutely, I do. But do I think that this is right? Definitely not. This is not, like, it's not right to do that. The issue here is that one of the biggest issues here is that he's making, you know, this normal trans man who's just living his life as a trans man seem like a creep. It is important for trans men to learn how to like clean their bottom growth. Like that is a real thing that trans men need to know. Trans men and individuals who are on testosterone, you know, who are AFAB people who are on testosterone, you need to learn how to deal with your bottom growth because yeah, it's important to take care of that part of your body. So like, it's helpful that trans adults, like grown-up trans people are telling us about how to take care of our bodies and like helping us, even because, for example, like some of us don't have parents who are willing to help us with those things. So we have another person who's like willing to help us, which is, I think, really great. One of the things that I also wanted to just share in terms of like more of the rhetoric that I'm talking about here. And I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger on my end so you guys can see more. Okay, all right. So what I just wanted to do is try to, yeah, I just was gonna show you, like, for example, like I was looking this stuff up earlier. But like when you just research Jeffery Marsh, who is a non-binary TikToker, I think that's their biggest platform. Really kind, seeming and sweet and gentle person. Really kind of plays a lot into like the inner child situation, like kind of speaking kindly to your younger self. So you see, like there is, and this is, you know, just their platform. And then a couple, like there's 2 very neutral videos or positive videos from them. And then after that, it is just like all, except for these ones are fine. I think these are just theirs, but like almost all of this stuff is like, he's being a creep, he's a groomer. A lot of the, you know, the groomer, like, should take, like, they're wanting to kind of like talk to your children in private and creepy stuff like that. And this is Marcus again, which is funny, you know, making fun of other people who just use neopronouns, seemingly making fun of people who just want people to know that they're trans, which is weird. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is where this logically ends. And I was gonna also just like look up like xenogenders and stuff like that, and it's just more of the same thing. This is the logical end of this type of rhetoric. It doesn't equal more support for trans people. It equals more like not necessarily isolation. It just leads to more issues and problems in our community for us. Like, all we should be wanting to do, you know, is to stand up for our rights so that like we can just do the things that we want to do in peace, and like hopefully no one is messing with us. But it seems like that is like way too complicated for the world, and we just can't seem to just live our lives on our own. We're asking too much of the world for asking for, like, you know, decency and respect, and they're over it. The world is over it. I don't think that the answer is to just like kind of ignore what's going on and just say, well, I'm just not going to be part of the trans community anymore. That doesn't do anything. What does something is putting effort, you know, into educating people about the fact that there are smoke and mirrors going on here. What are our actual goals? What are our actual goals here, like as a trans community? And we want to be liberated. We want to make sure that other people have a voice, you know, and that we're listening to all the trans people. One of my opinions and my beliefs is that if we make sure that the least of these are taken care of, it's like a biblical term, but the least of these, you know, the people who are kind of the most disenfranchised and things like that, if they're taken care of, then everyone probably will be okay. If the people who don't have anything have enough to make sure that they're taken care of, then that probably means that the 1% is probably still just fine. There are better ways to create equality in this world. And at the end of the day, I'm not just supporting trans rights. I'm also supporting human rights as a whole. I'm supporting bodily autonomy. I'm supporting the right for people to say who they are, you know what I'm saying? And also to do what they want with their body. Those things are pretty basic. You're right, Charlie. This is just basic kindness, what we're looking for. And that is even seeming really hard to come by. Now it just seems like, you know, because people are awful, and these right-wing talking points are getting more popular, people are believing that all trans people are delusional. The individuals who say like it's the xenogender or the neopronoun users who are causing this problem, I think that you are mistaken. I don't think that they are the cause of this problem. Did they contribute? Maybe, perhaps. It's easier, for example, to make fun of someone who is like bunny gender than it is for someone who's like a buck angel, who looks very much like a man. You know, it'd be hard to say you belong in the woman's bathroom with his like bulging veins and bald head and big huge beard. It'd be very hard to say you belong in the women's bathroom. But yeah, this is what we're fighting for. Yeah, there are other ways to kind of support human rights. Maybe it is also doing work off of the internet, talking to people in your communities, connecting with other human beings, connecting with other queer and trans people in real life. I think a lot of people might have different views than you expect. And when you actually talk to people, you realize that a lot of people have differing views, and you might actually get along with people who you don't agree with 100%. I'm learning that as I'm growing up, and I'm connecting with people who don't have the same beliefs as me, but I'm learning from them in actually quite powerful ways that are really supportive in my life. People who I don't necessarily wouldn't like go have drinks with, or necessarily like enjoy like casual hanging out time with. But yeah, conversations and stuff like that with people who have different opinions than me, have been, some of them have been helpful and eye-opening. And some of them are not, you know, and they're boring and useless. My last thought that I wanted to end on is the idea of building bridges. Is it even worth it to work on connecting with people who are trans but aren't, you know, maybe they're more technically the binary trans people? Is it worth it at all to try and build bridges there? Will it just end in people, I don't know, being more frustrated? Like I wonder in my head, like, what would it do if, you know, someone like Marcus, like, really, you know, came face to face with the fact that I like dealt with dysphoria, like in my experience, and, you know, had to talk to someone and be like, yeah, it's harder to disagree with someone's experience in person than it is through a camera, for sure. I'm saying that because, you know, I would be scared. I'm very timid. I tend to be a timid person, so I would be very scared to say a lot of this stuff to people's faces. I'm not ashamed to admit that, because I like to be honest about my fears and opinions and stuff like that on here. But yeah, I'm not sure what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Is it worth it to try to build bridges? Is building bridges, I don't think that building bridges with the gender criticals, I'm not sure if it's helpful. They don't seem to like us very much. Some of them do, kind of, but it's kind of confusing. Another time I definitely want to talk about like trans medicalism itself, and maybe watch some of Godless Snowshoes videos with you all, and just share some different opinions. Yeah, I just think that, yeah, I think it's important to know what people are saying, the different things that are out there, and what it looks like to look at things rationally, maybe, and, you know, try to weigh both sides. I don't know. I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Yeah, this was interesting to do, but important to talk about. Yeah, hopefully I don't get a ton more videos that are made about me, but at the same time, you know, maybe that's how I become YouTube famous or something like that. Speaking of that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and you share this video with someone who you think would appreciate it. And make sure to also hit the bell notification so that you're aware when I'm going live. Even though it's around 1:30 every Sunday, it can change. It has changed in the before, and sometimes I take breaks. Follow me on Instagram at MavMagic. You can make sure to hear about what I'm doing. I will update things on Instagram a little bit more often than on YouTube. You know, as you know, sometimes I'm bad at remembering to check things and post stuff, but whatever. I'm glad this was helpful for some people. I hope that other people can find this useful, and, you know, just even watch a chunk of this. Yeah, but I appreciate you all. Yeah. Reach out. Let's have a conversation. You know, let's keep it going in the comments. Okay. Appreciate you all. Have a great rest of your day. Peace and love. I hope you have a great week.